Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is the chart. It's the new moon. It's Saturday, 10th of July, and 2:16 a.m. British summertime. Now, it's an incredibly important weekend, hence I'm slightly late in recording this. The reason being, Wimbledon tennis is on this weekend, the finals, and I watched the women's match. And what I loved about the ending was that both women were in tears. Both women had put so much energy into that final match. And Barty, who won, they called her Barty, but she said, "Dare to dream it." And that struck a chord with me. And in astrology, there are archetypes. That's what it's based on. And looking in a new way at presenting each month's stars, each month's new moon. So the sun and moon are in the sign of Cancer, and that's where the moon is at home. All planets are energies, basically, like actors in a play, and when a planet is in its home sign, it's really comfortable. And this is the time of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and Cancer is all about caring. Family are important, nurturing. So it's the mother energy, not necessarily your mother or how you felt when you were growing up, whether or not you had that kind of a mother or not. So it's time for the next month until the next new moon to embrace that mother energy for yourself. Now, whether that's eating something that reminds you of what we call comfort food in essence, but also we have a lot else going on. We have Mercury now. Here it is. It's in Gemini. Now, Gemini is the storyteller or the messenger, communicator. And Mercury is in its home sign of Gemini. It's moving very fast now, thank goodness. It's away from the retrograde, and it will move into Cancer. It's on the 12th. Mercury carries messages, and we don't attack the messenger. However, it's been a long haul through Gemini, and I've been aware I have the rising sign in my chart is Cancer. So it's been in my 12th house. That means it's behind. So if you look at this chart, you see, there is Gemini and there's the sun and moon. There's a difference. There's a 12th house energy is behind the scenes. Now, Mercury, as I said, the messenger, what is it doing? It's making a very positive flow of energy to Jupiter. Jupiter is retrograde. So many planets are retrograde. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, all retrograde. And Jupiter is, at this time, this chart, set for London, right at the top of the chart. And what better omen, shall we say, than the English team playing the final World Cup on Sunday. Jupiter is the adventurer, the explorer. And in the sign of Pisces, it's very much about the spiritual quest. The Neptune energy, which is also in Pisces. And this is the dreamer. Pisces, for all of you Pisceans, you are the dreamers of the zodiac. And that's why I like what Barty said, Ashley Barty, her real name, dare to dream it. That's a good, significant message for this new moon. And Jupiter, by the end of the month of July, will have moved back into the sign of Aquarius. Venus and Mars, look at these. These are personal planets. Mercury, Moon, Sun, Venus, Mars are all personal. They're close. The Sun is the center of our zodiac, our universe, shall we say. And Venus and Mars, it's very rare that they join together. And here they are in Leo. Leo is the sovereign. Leo is where the sun is at home. And 12 days' time, well, we're getting very close to the sun moving into its annual tour of Leo. So the king, the queen energy. Mars is the warrior. If you're an Aries or a Scorpio, Mars is your planet. If you're a Libran or a Taurian, Venus is your planet. Slightly different qualities to each, but here they are, side by side, the lovers, in this wonderful sign of Leo. So very much the Venus is the Queen archetype at this time, and she is joined by her true companion. Mars likes the sign of Leo. Leo's a fire sign, so it's action, taking action at this new moon of what you most desire, what you most love. The renegade, that's what Uranus represents. It doesn't like the sign of Taurus, that's for sure, because Taurus is a fixed sign. Uranus wants change. And here it is in a very powerful, can you see that red line? That is a square. There's tension around relationships, which is what Venus is all about, after all. And Uranus wants change, it wants disruption. It's change for change's sake. And if you have Uranus traveling through Taurus, if you're a Taurian or a Scorpio, it's opposite us Scorpios, I'm a Scorpio, then you need to make some changes. Now, that doesn't mean you move home every time Uranus is making an aspect in your chart, but certainly changing things around. That can be as simple as moving pictures, for instance, or reorganizing your kitchen is what I've been doing. Very small little things, but pleasing to the eye. And Saturn, still in Aquarius, it takes 2.5 years to go through each sign to Saturn. And Saturn is where we can become blocked, where we can become caught in authority conflict. And that's what Uranus and Saturn are up to this year. So Saturn is in its own sign, co-rules Aquarius, and its tension is with the radical protest quality of Uranus, which is what we have seen in the UK, protest marches in the centre of London. Chiron is in the sign of Aries. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer archetype. And if you are 50, roughly at the age of 50, Chiron returns back to where it was at your birth. And Chiron is the wounded healer archetype. It's where we are wounded, but also where we can heal others. Now, in Aries, it would be a wound to being the warrior, the pioneer. Aries is the fighter. It initiates. It's the springtime energy. You think of the bulb coming out of the ground as it does each spring. And it's in a good relationship, very powerfully good. Blue indicates powerful ease of energy to the lovers. So healing conflicts in your relationships at this time is significant. There is tension, but not so strong a tension. Here's Chiron, that little red line, comes up to that new moon in Cancer. However, the moon is moving fast and the sun moves 1 degree per day. So we've already come through that and we're moving away from it. We have the last planet, have I discussed it? Pluto. Pluto takes a long time. It's a long, long time to go through each sign. And it started in 2008 in Capricorn until 2024. So you can see it's at 25 of Capricorn, it's going retrograde. It's such a slow-moving planet. And yet it always deconstructs whatever sign it goes through. So we have seen, if you remember way back, looking at institutions. These are old, traditional institutions that Capricorn represents. It is the government. It is those in power, those in control. It's in a good relationship to Neptune, but that's a weak, it's not overly important. But what is going on, if you see, that's Capricorn, there's Cancer. So very soon, the sun is all about consciousness, bringing things to light. So in 7 days' time, that's a Saturday, that will be on the 17th of July, the sun once a year, it does this just for one day, although it's approaching that now, will bring to light something to do with these institutions. They are things such as banking, as a for instance. The nodes of the moon, that's the one thing I haven't mentioned. Here's the north node, it's in Gemini. The south node is in Sagittarius. They take a year and a half to go through those signs. So we are exploring Gemini, information, communication, and letting go, because that's the south node, of beliefs that no longer serve us. That's especially true for Sagittarians, because eclipses are to do with the nodes of the moon. And we've just come through a month, that was June, we had solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. And the next eclipses will be at the end of the year. So for you, it's important that you know your chart. You know your rising sign. And the other very important thing that's been going on for me, as I mentioned, I am a Cancer rising sign. And this new moon is bang on my rising sign. So if you know that rising sign, you can then track through the year where the sun has each new moon, So the next new moon will be in Leo. It'll be the queen archetype, the king archetype, the sovereign, the leader. So you're looking for leadership at this time. And then we go to Virgo, which is very much the Mercury energy, but the healer. Libra is the archetype of the lover, but it's more like the artistic lover, the art director. The difference between Libra and Taurus. Taurus is physical. Libra is more intellectual. I won't go on there, but I do want you to realize that there are cycles, life cycles. So if you're not already on my mailing list, please sign up, because I'm about to announce a new webinar and teaching, especially about the 12th house, because there are times in our lives, and there's a 12-year cycle, when we go through a year to do with our 12th house, and that's totally dependent on how old you are. So I'm signing off now. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com.